Good afternoon. Welcome to the business of open source. Before we get going with the first talk, I want to ask, is Brandon Liu, Courtney Yato, or George Owen here in the room? Okay. I'll get them going and I'll catch up with you. Thanks. Okay, so for our first talk, sorry, my phone is not cooperating. So for our first talk, we have Danielle and Kyle are going to get us started talking about investing $1 million in the open ecosystem. So everybody give them a round of applause to get them going.
Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, Danielle and I are going to be sharing our presentation about investing $1 million in the open ecosystem. Quick review for our agenda for today. First, what is Cesium? And then we're going to dig into two programs that we've launched at Cesium and the outcomes that those have created. Our goal is to share our lessons learned and why investing in the ecosystem is important for businesses that are operating in the FOSS4G community. If you haven't guessed it yet, Danielle and I are both from Cesium and work directly with our ecosystem programs. But some of you may not be aware of what Cesium is and the work that we do. So I don't know if I can get a raise of hands of who's used Cesium before or who's familiar with Cesium. Okay, I see a few hands. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Cesium is a foundational open platform for creating powerful 3D geospatial applications. Cesium JS was originally created in 2011 by an AGI team for global scale aerospace visualizations, and it spun out as its own company in 2019. Cesium JS was originally offered as a free and open source software alongside Cesium Ion, and as a commercial option, Cesium Ion was a commercial option to extend that into a complete 3D geospatial platform. So because Cesium was the original creator of 3D tiles, that standard, it has been shepherded into the OGC community standard in 2019, and it's now widely used by developers across the community. Today, the Cesium ecosystem is enabling use cases in areas such as renewable energy and industrial simulation, along with many others, where developers such as Wind Planner and Bentley can visualize large, complex data sets in real time by using Cesium's open source products. In the examples beside me here, we're highlighting the work being done in Cesium JS and Cesium for Unreal, but these are only scratching the surface of what's possible when we enable openness and interoperability. And we want to continue to expand these opportunities for everyone in the ecosystem. Cesium is also built on an open core model across multiple runtimes, including Cesium JS, Cesium for Unreal, Cesium for Unity, Cesium for Omniverse, and Cesium for O3DE, which have amassed millions of downloads and hundreds of community contributions. We believe that openness and interoperability are essential elements that propel the entire 3D geospatial ecosystem forward, enabling the types of collaborative 3D simulations across multiple platforms, such as Unreal and Omniverse that we're showing here. Now that you got an understanding of what Cesium is, let's take a look at some of the programs that we've launched in order to support the open ecosystem even further. First, the Cesium Certified Developer Program. So you might be asking, why would Cesium create a certification program? That's a valid question. So first, Cesium wants to ensure that we can continue to develop the best open source products for 3D geospatial. So in order to do that, we need the support of the community to develop and build the vertical applications across those industries. In order to do that, we need the support of the community, and thankfully, we've got a very engaged community of developers that are hungry to demonstrate their expertise with Cesium. And as a result of that, we want to enable, rather than limit, the growth within the community by connecting and empowering the developers that are creating those ecosystem products and help address the needs that we can't directly fulfill. By creating a certification program, we aim to award experienced developers with public credentials to showcase their abilities within the Cesium ecosystem. Our goal is to create a free and impactful program that would enable us to grow that, and we wanted to understand what developers' feedback was, not only to ensure that we could make it relevant to them, but so that it could scale effectively. And as a result of their feedback, we've created a straightforward and comprehensive way to understand developers' experience before they're certified. To become a Cesium Certified Developer today, developers have to fill out a short form that's available on our website, and it only takes a few minutes to complete. From there, they receive specific information about a project submission and examples from previous developers to showcase what they've done. Generally, we want projects that are demonstrating a strong understanding of how to use the Cesium ecosystem and how to add real value to that project by incorporating it. Once a project's submitted, our committee reviews that project and returns feedback or requested changes. And then once the project is accepted, developers receive a digital badge, and they're included in our Cesium Certified directory. We originally launched the Cesium Certified program in October of 2022, so it's been about a year. And with a small cohort of those experienced developers that we originally launched, we reached out to existing customers and integrators and other developers that we've known and we knew were active in the community, and we wanted to ensure that our messaging and our vision for the program was still on target. So we continue to ask for input from them and for feedback as we grew the program. Let me go back one. Now, a year later, we've got 63 certified developer organizations around the globe, and they've got a coverage of stacks and industries that we would have never been able to cover before. We started the Cesium Certified Developer Program with the goal of creating that impact and empowering the community, and as we've seen the program mature, we've seen impact in a few more areas. First, education and professional growth. Developers want to improve their skills, and going through the certification process is an excellent avenue, especially because it's free. Next, we're looking at recognition and opportunities as a result of the certification, and developers are getting that recognition for their work through their certification and through their badges. The broader community can then see their experience in Cesium and then initiate new opportunities through professional development or other business opportunities that weren't previously available. And because the Cesium community is constantly growing with more integrators and businesses and end users solving those problems, we're also trying to see that demand for developers and experienced developers continue to grow. And by creating the Cesium Certified Developer Program and highlighting those developers, new organizations get to discover their work, their products, and services, and they can do that all organically through the community. Next, as we think about Cesium's impact and how that's helped our growth and success, it's because that it's all been rooted in the community. So as a company, Cesium focuses on innovating at that intersection of 3D graphics and geospatial. And we want to enable the community to build exceptional products beyond the challenges that we face today. So by introducing the program, we wanted to redirect interest in Cesium services to equally, if not more, capable developers that are experts in their domains and in their industries. So by certifying those developers, it enables us to stay focused on our core products, and by enabling open standards and better adoption of those standards, we can drive interoperability and foundational technology and innovation. So in the end, the impact created goes beyond those into new areas, and it drives interest for deeper partnerships and service opportunities beyond what we originally envisioned. So just to really quickly recap the lessons that we've learned, first, building that community takes time and commitment. The Cesium Certified Developer Program took a significant amount of time to ultimately get started, and it requires a constant commitment to the community. So we've put in months of planning and meetings with developers to find the right balance of requirements and outcomes, such as the developer badge and how that they can share that publicly. Next, and we think about meeting the community where they are. We didn't expect everybody to come to us, so we needed to go look for interest outside of our immediate circle to find those community members that were making great contributions before we even had contact with them. So we looked across the community, we looked for developers that were interested in piloting the program, and we continue to ask for referrals even now. Next, be open to iteration. The Cesium Certified Developer Program has evolved when it started, and it's going to continue to evolve as it matures. We didn't expect it to hit a home run immediately, and now we're trying to create additional content, for example, learning paths that enable developers to start off learning about cesium and then ultimately become certified as a result of that. Now we're even looking at future opportunities to create a service partner program and to develop those deeper relationships with certified developers that have the expertise and alignment with cesium so that they can act as an extension of cesium service capabilities. Lastly, celebrating the small victories. We want to think about the progress because it is measured on a cumulative basis, right? We want to celebrate each of those certifications and understand that the impact is going to build up over time. Each developer is unique, and we want to showcase their work and their effort, how they're adding to the overall vision for the program, and ultimately building that greatest impact for the community. So now I'm going to hand it over to Danielle so she can talk about the Cesium Ecosystem Grants.
Thanks, Kyle. So I'm excited to talk about grants today. And the way I like to think about grants in our ecosystem of programs is our Certified Developer Program is kind of how Cesium sees it wants to celebrate the community as it is. And our Ecosystem Grants Program is looking forward to the future of the community. First of all, why are we giving away $1 million as a small startup ourselves, 50-person startup? Well, in 2020, Cesium received an EPIC Mega Grant, and that really spurred the creation of the open source plugin family that is Cesium. So if you look, this is what Cesium ecosystem looked like before 2020. It was Cesium Ion, it was Cesium JS, and after our ecosystem grant, we built a native integration that can plug into the game engine community, and we didn't stop there. We built out our integrations with Omniverse, with Unity, O3C, O3E. I always mess that one up. But as you can see, there's the opportunity to grow that ecosystem now that we have that native core. And this really kickstart into Cesium Ethos, a way to give back and grow the 3D geospatial community. And we've been percolating on this idea for quite some time. In the startup world, 3 years ago was quite some time. So when approaching why we should be doing this, we looked at our active community of contributors, including our certified developers, and saw amazing things being built beyond what we could within our own scope as a startup ourselves do. At the end of the day, our paid staff are responsible for our bottom line, but this grant program acts as our financial investment in the community for the community. So what are grants? We have a $1 million fund that launched 7 months ago. Grants are between $5,000 and $50,000. And so far, we've given out 7 grants, both across the world and across 3D Geospatial. Each grantee has proved in one way or another the impact their project will have on 3D Geospatial, meaning their grant project will give back or expand 3D Geospatial in new and exciting ways beyond just the recipient. We want to make sure that every grant is somehow contributing to the open ecosystem. How does this actually help the community beyond a cash advance? And are we just giving this out to our best friends in the community? Hint, no. We did not know all of these applicants before they came to us. Internally, we have a committee that really does focus on the impact piece of the application process. And while impact can feel very nebulous, we look for grants that connect to large, active communities in 3D Geospatial. We really want to see something that opens doors. So, for example, 3D tiles are now available in QGIS. We are so excited about this grant. This was 2 teams that joined together to bring this project to life. A fully integrated release is available on October 27th. And if for some reason this crowd doesn't know what QGIS is, it is a wildly popular open source geospatial platform. And bringing 3D tiles there really democratizes access to 3D visualization. Another example is we have an IFC tiling pipeline that we're really excited for the AEC industry. In AEC, IFC is a very popular tiling format, and bringing buildings into a full global context should be very valuable to that industry. So this is the business of open source, and why am I talking about giving money away? And how is our business brought into this? Well, Cesium really wants to be at the table for open standards. When things are in the same language and standard, the ecosystem has the opportunity to grow. Things look better. Greater minds and volume of minds are at the table. And this aligns with Cesium's vision for interoperability and openness across the ecosystem. But how are our staff not completely up in arms that I'm giving away our budget? Well, first of all, it's really internally inspiring. It's an investment in our potential workforce. It opens up industry use cases, and it gives employees a way to advocate for the future of the ecosystem. No, you shouldn't find a Cesium employee and try to convince them to give you a grant. That doesn't work. But we do actively engage what and where our employees believe we should be giving for impact, hence their investment in our giving. Some examples. We're really inspired by Professor Watanabe of Tokyo. He has an archive of disasters, and it's really humbling and exciting to see our work being used as a canvas for important conversations and newsworthy attention. For example, Professor Watanabe took Maxar data and immediately started mapping out fault lines in Turkey after the Turkey-Syrian earthquake, and that was picked up by news outlets that you're actually able to see very quickly the fault lines. In terms of investing in our future workforce, we just released our microgrant program, which is $800 to get students and educators Cesium certified. This kickstarts students who maybe probably wouldn't have done this before get their certification, and we're really excited about it because it's working. We have our first student who went through their certification process, and this happened yesterday. It's up on our blog, and again, this is us celebrating our small achievements. So what are our lessons learned? Well, at the end of the day, this is an investment, but the ROI for the ecosystem we think is really high. Just like the concept of sustainable development, there's more than just economic growth that makes something sustainable. This is focused on investing in our community's sustainability. Access to 3D geospatial is one thing. Having the tools to build something amazing once you're there is another. It's a little bit of a, if you build it, will they come scenario. We at Cesium try to lay open our toolbox to the ecosystem. We're seeing this as a jumpstart forward for some of that growth. This program has had incredible response, and the ecosystem has also been incredibly gracious with hearing back from us. This all really started with support and fact-finding. We spoke with friends at Epic and NVIDIA and charted out other similar programs. Now we're talking back into the ecosystem with peers about our process, just like Free CAD Project Association. And if nobody knows what that is, you should look it up. This crew would definitely benefit from them. But we're still evolving. Soon there will be application changes, timeline changes, language changes, and this is all built on feedback that we've gotten in the 7 short months since we've launched this project. So as we're closing out, our call to action for this crowd is to get involved. Let us know how we're doing, how you'd like to get involved. 3D Geospatial is huge. There are still opportunities for impactful integrations, open source contributions, or educational opportunities. If you want to know more about our programs or launching your own, please find Kyle or I afterwards and we can connect. I'm going to leave this up here, so if you want to get to our websites, you can. We do have open positions at Cesium. And now I'm ready for questions.
Any questions?
Ask it. Do it. Yeah. I think you need a microphone.
I feel I can go loud enough as is. Hi there. The question I have is, for someone who isn't familiar with some of the other platforms like Unity or Unreal, do you also help train them in the baseline technologies for that?
We have on our website tutorials within those. It's not like a full training on how to use Unreal or how to use Unity. They actually have really good video startup tutorials themselves that I'd say if you really want to get into Unity, I have looked because I'm like, what are they doing really well? And some of their video tutorials are amazing. So we show you how to integrate it kind of from the vantage of Cesium. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a pleasure.